All right, the past couple of weeks, I've had several people have conversations with me about how we argue, or the types of arguments that we have about equal justice bills as well as pro-life healthcare bills. And these conversations have been brought to me by both pro-life people and abolitionists. And so I thought I'd do a quick video on my position and clarify why I do what I do. And in all of these conversations, it was pretty much the same thing, though the pro-life people were trying to tell me that I was being inconsistent until I further explained what it was that I was doing. So, when it comes to arguments for a bill, I tend to lean on arguments that deal with justice, right? Because that's really the point, right? Is this law just? These are some of the questions that I ask. Does this law show partiality to the wicked? Well, does it show partiality at all? But more specifically, does it show partiality to the wicked? And that being women that kill their own preborn children, men that help them kill their own children, doctors that are paid to kill these children, anybody involved with the unjust killing of these preborn children. So does the law show partiality in that way? Does the law or bill show partiality on who the law apply to? In addition to that question, there are other things that I tend to ask, is this proposed bill an abomination that would justify the wicked? And again, this could be any number of people. The wicked could be the mothers that kill their own children. The wicked could be the fathers that lead their children to the slaughter. The wicked could be the doctors, any number of people. Do we justify their wicked behavior in the law? Does the language of the law justify them? Is the language of the bill that I'm looking at, does it condemn the just? Is there a way in which the language condemns, say for example, the preborn child that does not deserve the sentence of death? That would be another question that I ask. And all of these types of questions, they deal with justice, the justness of any proposed bill. Does this bill cause the one executing the law to wield the sword unjustly? And again, we're dealing with, is this proposed bill just, right? That's generally how I construct my arguments for a bill of equal justice. What I don't do is construct arguments based off of the results or the proposed results or the possible results of the bill being passed and enforced. I don't look at how effective the bill will be in, for example, number of babies that are not killed as a direct result of the law being enforced. That's just not how, I don't make those arguments in support of an equal justice bill. The way I argue for them is purely on a justice stance, right? Is it just? Is it an abomination that justifies the wicked or condemns the just? Is it showing partiality to the wicked? Does it cause the God's deacon to bear the sword in vain, right? Now, I will propose arguments that deal with the effectiveness of a proposed bill or one that has been passed into law as a way to refute the claims that are being made. So I will bring up the data and the evidence and construct arguments to show that, in this case, usually that the pro-life media, pro-life organizations are being deceptive in what they're claiming their healthcare law is going to do, the amount of burden that they are going to place on a woman's access to abortion, the number of projected babies that are not going to be killed because of their healthcare laws. So I will argue about how ineffective their proposed healthcare laws are, or the ones that have passed that they bring up to say we've saved X number of babies during this time period because of the healthcare laws that we've passed. So there are times where people get confused at my rhetoric, and I just want to clarify. I am not making the arguments of how effective or ineffective a bill is as a means to promote equal justice. I am constructing arguments on the effectiveness or lack of effectiveness of fill-in-the-blank healthcare law to expose the deception of the pro-life establishment, A, and B, to show how ineffective their healthcare laws are towards their goal, or their proposed goal of saving babies, and to show the secondary effects that they either have not considered or try to cover up. So that's why I deal with things like excess births in Texas, or, and any of these arguments that I have made in the past and will continue to make. It's not that I am focusing on the results as a reason to not support a healthcare bill. The reason I don't support the healthcare law is not because of the results, but because they are unjust. But what I am doing is answering a fool according to his folly. So I will try to put the results in the best light possible for them, and then deconstruct that to show how ineffective their healthcare laws really are. Like I said, to expose their deception, show their inconsistency, and to show the secondary impact that they either haven't considered or are trying to cover up. Now, I do want to be clear, this is against the pro-life establishment, right? The legislators, the lobbyists, these organizations, their media arm, and not just the average person that hears their talking points and then regurgitates them. They need to be educated, and this is a way that we can educate them on the ineffective lies that are being pushed by the establishment, and bring the conversation around to justice. So I hope that helps and clarifies a few things. I will be getting in through some of these arguments in later shows again. But this should lay the foundation of why I do that.